Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob. And in this video, we're going to show the installation of the Bison tactical stock made by Bison. And I'm basically doing this video so that if I do sell them, that I have a video on how to install it and how I come about the parts that I have, and just give you a roundabout on how this come about. Right now, this is what it looks like originally, and of course minus the shroud, but we're going to take the original stock and we're going to change it to the tactical stock, which you've already seen a preview of it, but I think we've got it nailed down to the finished product. So don't forget to have your Trump coffee, and we'll put you down here and show you each piece, and then we will install. Alright, so these are all the different transitions, and this one here was the very first one, and it was a little thin right here, so I thickened it up a little bit because this one here snapped on me right here, so I strengthened it a little bit more. And if you notice, it's all round right here, and this one is not. This one is what it looked like the first time. Then I went and changed it and put a ring all the way around on each one of these columns. So then we got a raised spot, so that strengthened it so that it was pretty tough. So when I originally started with it, I started with the square piece right here. And yeah, don't pay no attention to this. This is just a thought in progress. We don't know how this is going to work. It's kind of a little uncomfortable because it's showing right here, or it's sticking out too far right here, so I'm not sure this is going to work. I like this grip, but I need it to be a little bit closer to the block, so we're working on something like this. Basically all this is a Picatinny rail or a M-lock rail that is mounted to the block. Alright, so we started off with a square. Well, it just didn't transition like I would hoped. This is basically what it looked like right here. Well, that kind of it just didn't transition into it the way I'd like to, so I went and did it this way to make it look a little bit better. So basically I just took some of it off right here, and this is solid and it's pretty heavy. This one is the finished product. I've printed so many of these that it ain't funny. When I first started, I went and put a bridge across here where, like it is in the original stock, but I put it in the wrong place. So I realized I didn't need that bridge, so then I took it out. Alright, so then we made this one. Now this one, if you notice the difference between the two, this one is just straight across. Basically what I did was took a round one and just cut that piece out, and that's why it looks like that. Well, on this one, as you can see right here, the block here actually slides in there. This one just kind of overlaps it, and it hangs off of the side. So this one looks a whole lot better. And remember, we put that band around it in every one of these spots that was heavy and made it nice and sturdy. Alright, so let me put this out of the way, get it out of y'all's mind. Alright, so then I made a trigger guard that has safe and fire on it. And the original one had a slot cut out of it. I didn't need that slot because this is flat on the bottom. So this is how it looks now. And so then, as we talked about in the last video on this thing having the hold down screw up here, that's okay if your stock is longer. You're splitting the difference between. So if you screw it down in the center like the original stock would be, it basically keeps it from rocking. But when you're on the outside like this, on the edge, this close to the end, you have all this from here up that's going to rock. So I fixed that by making this piece. And I put 2 holes in the top, and that mounts on there just like that. And this is flush right here, just like that. So this here actually goes around the tank area. Well, the bottom of the breech, which is round, which is the same size as the tank. So as you can see, it completes the circle. Alright, that holds this side down. So there's no rocking going to happen. So we made that piece. Alright, then we made this piece so that we can install our grip. And that will mount to this. Now this piece has an extra thing going on for it. This comes out. At first I did it with this only, and then I had this actually molded into this part. And this part actually looked like that. Well, I changed it and made it so that I can take an M-lock rail and it will go right in here, and that's what I did here, is put an M-lock rail. Let's see if I can get this out real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's a little tight. Really tight. Well, maybe I need to loosen it up some more. Well, I'll just take this screw all the way out. I don't think you need to, but maybe you do. I don't remember. Alright. So what I done was mounted this M-lock to it. That way somebody could use this for this style grip. But I'd like for this to be a little closer to this, so I may have to redesign it or just scrap the idea to begin with. There's really nothing wrong with this. I could make one like this. Take some finagling to do it, but I could probably make one just like this that mounts like this. Who knows? But anyway, so this actually mounts on there like that and sets in the cradle like so. And then this mounts on there like that with this. Just like that. Alright. So that mounts the grip. So we got that taken care of. So then we needed a way to hook this Cattleman rear buttstock, and it has a slot on it and a boss that goes down in there just like that right there. Just like that. Yes, I could have made that the same size as this, but I kind of wanted girth. So it really doesn't affect anything. It doesn't make anything worse or it doesn't make anything better. It's just more meat. And then that screws on to the back side of this. Now on the inside of this, I have nuts, 4 of them, that press into a hex hole. And these stay with this, so you ain't got to fumble with no nuts when you go to take this thing apart. Alright, so then I had to make this screw because the original screw was too long for my stock. The wood was a little thicker on the original than it was on my piece. So then I made the grips that mounts on the side of that, and it has its own special screws also. So originally this was a little longer and it was reversed. I had this backwards. Somebody mentioned that in my video. And I was kind of embarrassed because I didn't do that on my Avenger stock. The Avenger stock was correct. But for some reason, I don't know what, I kept looking at it thinking something ain't right about it. Something ain't right about it. And then somebody mentioned it in my video and said, the grip being backwards is a little different. And I got to looking at it and I said, oh my God, how embarrassing. But anyway, we got it straightened out, and then I shortened this by about a 1/2 inch so that it was just shy of the top of the grip plate. So now we get to put this thing together. So let's go ahead and start putting this thing together and we'll see how it works out. So the first thing we're going to do is take this let's see which way it goes. There it goes this way. Yep. Alright. Then this is the way it'll go, just like that. So then we will put our screw down through there. And put this up in there. And then I threaded the end of this. So now we can put this together. Well, I got it upside down. Maybe I'll get it right. I built it and don't even remember how it went together. Ain't that something? The original was kind of a little more straight up and down than I wanted, so I changed the angle and angled it backwards a little bit more. Alright, so then we'll tighten that down. Alright, if you notice on the bottom side of this, I put a slot in there to accommodate for the head of that bolt. So it will go right up on there just like that. So there you have that. So now we'll go ahead and put our grips on there. And I'm thinking about making these to sell, just the plates themselves. I just printed out a set of white ones, and I did it by accident actually. I forgot to change my filament and it turned out white, and I said, well, by the time I realized that it was too late, I wasn't going to waste the filament, so I went ahead and printed them out white. But I did them in white with honeycomb, not the Bison logo. So let me get the other one and I'll show you the difference between the two. Now these are the original ones that I was going to put on it, but I wanted to put the logo on mine, so I got two of those that I'm selling. And then I printed the white ones, and I'm thinking about putting some color in the honeycomb. So, but anyway, here was the difference. See, the angle is a little different. So this was kind of more straight than angled back. So I kind of wanted to keep this contour right here. As you can see, the contour wasn't the same and it was just a little long. So I shortened it a little bit, and that feels a whole lot better. Alright, so then we put this on here just like that. So then we've got our block that will go on there with, you have two different size screws. 4 screws, but 2 of them are one size and 2 of them are another size. So the reason is because two of these holes are deeper than the other 2. So these 2 go in the outside, and these 2 are on the top and the bottom, just like so. Now they're both, all of them are exactly the same size. And the reason we did this is so that when you go to put this together, them screws don't protrude into this and hit the back of the gun. So now we can put that on there, and remember to keep that slot going side to side, not up and down. So now we can go ahead and put that together. Now this kit, if I sell it, is going to be plain Jane. You do your decorating, I'm not going to be painting anything on yours. I'm not going to be sanding nothing on yours. This is a kit, sort of like a kit car. I get you the basics. I thread it, I do all that, and I'll put the nuts in it. You know, press the nuts in there. That'll all be done. Now you can get this without the Bison logo. This is going to be a made to order. You order it with what you want, and then I will print it out with what I have already available. If you want just honeycomb on the side of this, we can put honeycomb on the side of it. So far, this is the only thing I have. This and a plain one. And I'll show you what the plain one looks like. Now this one is a plain one. This one's a misprint. It's solid and it can be reused, but it requires some work to make it happen. This was one of those prints that I was doing when I jarred the table so hard with the resizer for my pellets or my slugs. It jumped off right here and misaligned, because it was right here when I had started trying to resize my slugs, and jarred the table so bad that it made it print off like that. So, but this is what a plain one looks like. I would be honored if everybody wanted to do one with the Bison logo, because if you did the Bison logo, you could paint it however you want. But anyway, we haven't nailed down what we're going to do yet. Alright, so now we're going to put our trigger guard on there, and they're threaded with a Phillips head screw. And you don't want to put a whole lot of stress on that when you're tightening it. It's just plastic, it will strip. There's not a whole lot of pressure on this. Unless you're just god awful rough with your guns, I don't see that ever coming off. So now we've got that so far. Now we can go ahead and install our buttstock. I think that's what's next. I feel like I'm missing this. This screw is supposed to go somewhere. I can't remember where it goes. That's funny. Oh Lord, that one's in there. Was that a screw that was just laying there? Oh, this came out of that. See? This here came out of that. That almost messed me up. Alright, so I knew I had all the screws accounted for. So now we can go ahead and put our buttstock on there, and I did thread that center hole, and it also threads into this block. So it threads into this and this. That's why you want all this to be together. Well, you have to put all that together first. Alright, so then we'll go ahead and tighten that down. I am also thinking about building my own rear buttstock. If I do, it will be my own. I won't be copying nothing off of nobody. If you wanted to put a buttstock on this kit, well, I would probably raise the price of this, but offer the new Bison buttstock as part of this kit so that it's a complete kit. Alright, so now we've got that taken care of. Now we've almost got a stock. So now we've got a two-piece stock, and this one here basically just slides on there, and as you can see, it rests right in that cradle, and that's the way it will look. Alright, so now we're ready to put it on. So let's go ahead, I'll go ahead and take the stock off of the other one, and next thing you see, we'll have her here putting it on. Alright guys, so now we've got the old stock off. This is the original screw, and as you can see, considerable difference in the two. So this one's the one we're going to use. So this gets put in a Ziploc baggie and will be put with the other stock so that they are never separated. Alright, so now let's go ahead and stick this on here. And mine actually fits better than the original stock. Alright, and then we'll go ahead and, well, let me show you something here that I found interesting. I put this slot right here in it for a reason. It needs to be widened, but after I got it put together, I found that it really isn't necessary, but I wanted to leave my options open at a later date if I decided to change something up. If you notice, when you use this safety, well, I'll have to cock it first. When you use this safety, if you notice, this whole rail moves back and forth, and that hole right there is actually threaded. So I could take and put a screw in there. I wonder if that's the right size. Yes. And I could change that right there like that. So I could change the location of this safety to out here. I'd almost rather it be that way. That way, when you're pulling your safe back and you don't, let's say you was pulling that back and you slipped off and hit that trigger, it's going to fire. And I already know two people that almost did that. So it would really be nice for this to be outside of the trigger guard. This would still be there, but there's a way that you could take, I don't know if my screw is going to fit in that hole. I don't think it is because I didn't make it wide enough. You know, I could take and build a screw that goes down in there, and then I could slide that back and forth right here and make a knob for it to make it work. But that's just something I found interesting, that there's an option there. So the first thing, let's take and uncock this. We don't want to be hitting that trigger by accident, because it is aired up. I would prefer that you unair your gun before you start working on it. I'm a professional. Alright, so now we've got this tightened down. Now that's done. Now we've got this piece that when you put it on there, this here goes up on over top of this round tube with those overhangs. So then we will put our 2 screws in. And you don't have to crank on them. We're just holding it together. We're not trying to change the world with it. So now we have this slanted back a little bit further. It's a little bit shorter and a little more comfortable. So now we get to put our trigger or our safety on, just like so. So now we've got that so far. Now we've got a folding stock. So now it comes to this piece, not that one, this one. Alright, now this slides on to cover the nut or the threads for the original shroud that was on it. And I made it so that, check this out, slides right up on there, and look how good that transitions into it. Looks really good. I like it. I'm actually proud of the way that come out. So then I've got 4 set screws in that, just like the barrel bands and the barrel supports, and then we'll tighten them up. Alright, and this cradle rides right on the barrel. So then, for an added support, I decided to go ahead and put a barrel band on it. Better make sure I got the right, yep, the bison goes towards the front. So now, we'll slide that down on there. Make sure it's nice and tight up against the forearm grip, and then we will tighten that down too. So now we have the forearm grip. Looking pretty sweet, ain't it? Alright, now we have a choice of either a moderator or a barrel brake. I choose to use a barrel brake because moderators tend to change the point of impact. So we're going to use the barrel brake. I don't care about noise. It don't bother me. They're not that loud. Now you notice that on this one I painted all this up here. I didn't do that yet on this one. I don't know if I'm going to yet. I may not. I'll leave that up to you guys. Do you guys like it better like this, or do you like it better like this? We already have the logo here. These two are not the same anymore because I changed the holes. These are the holes that you would see in a coat, like that. This one I filled the holes in and just made the hole big enough for the screw to go down in, and then made a pocket, 5mm pocket for the screw to rest down in, so it goes underneath the top of the grip. So now we get to start adding our accessories. So I've got my mag holder that goes on. Actually, I think I want that mag holder to be up here a little closer. I think that's where I want it. Alright. So then I printed out a holder for this light laser, and I just had that laying around. I don't even know how you adjust these things. It's got two different screws, one there, and then one is encased in a brass sleeve, so I'm not sure which one's supposed to be up, which one's supposed to be down. I don't know yet. We'll find out when I go to adjust it. I'm not sure which one adjusts it. It's got two little set screws here, or two little screws, and then one big one. If anybody understands this, let me know. I've had this thing for years. I never had a case for it or a mount, so I printed that and put two set screws on it, and that will go on the other side, like so. Alright, so now we've got laser, and then we will go ahead and put our Picatinny rail mount. And I don't like these. I'm really starting to get aggravated with these here, because if I tighten this to just barely enough to keep it from moving back and forth, these are called quick release bipods. If I loosen that, you can't get it off. You still have to use the Allen wrench on this. So I know my Picatinny rail is the exact same size, because even with the M-lock, it does the same thing. So it's sort of like it's got an in-between. You still have to loosen it up. So it's nothing quick disconnect about it. So I don't never take mine off anyway. But there you have it. So now we get to put our scope on it. So now we'll put that on, and I've got it located where it's supposed to be. I always make it flush with the back side, and I had to take it off in order to get to these two screws here, because I don't like using screwdriver sideways, because that rounds out screw heads. So now we can get our scope on it. I like to hear it when it creaks like that. That means it's pretty tight. Alright, now for the most important thing on this job. Taking a drink of coffee. It's getting cold. So there you have the bison built stock that wasn't made out of wood. Oh, I remember why I wanted that to be up a little bit further, because my hand's in the way. It's just a matter of finding where you want things. I think we'll put it, why don't we just go ahead and put that thing all the way forward, because I think that'll work just fine. Because it ain't nothing for me to reach up there and hit that. And let's move this. Up here somewhere. That way it's not in the way. Because this is where I'm going to be holding my gun. Just like that right there. Because that's pretty much centered. So tell me what you think, guys. I think that'll work. But I'm thinking about designing my own rear buttstock out of an aluminum tube, basically like I'd done my gauntlet one. And somebody asked me if I would make a tactical stock like this for the Gauntlet 1. Well, I want to say yes, and I did say that I was going to work on them, that stock, but here's the problem with the Gauntlet 1. I changed the bottle on mine. Mine's got a big old fat bottle on it. I'll show you what I mean. My Gauntlet has the big ass bottle on it. And the original one has the small bottle. And for me to make a tactical stock like that is going to be kind of hard. Simply because, for one thing, I don't want to take this gun apart. This gun is set up perfect. I don't think I've ever missed anything with this gun. This is a good shooting gun. It's a 25 caliber Gauntlet 1, and it's going to be hard to make all this forearm grip for a bottle this size. And I don't want to take this bottle off and put the original one back on it just to make a stock, and then I have to go back and reset this thing up. I'm not going to do that. I just don't think that I'm going to be able to make a stock like that for the Gauntlet. With all the Picatinny rails on it, like this forearm grip. I just don't see how that would be possible. And if I did make one for it to go over the bottle, it's going to be way too big and bulky. So I just don't, I'm not sure that it's feasible to do that. I just noticed something. This tube has a green tint to it for some reason. Huh, I never noticed that, and I've never done nothing to it. I've never painted anything on it, so I don't know why it looks any different. But this is the stock I built for my Gauntlet 1. I don't think the person who asked me to make that seen this gun yet. But I got my mag holder on it, on the barrel band. I got 2 barrel bands on it, and I haven't camouflaged this one yet, but that's my big badass gauntlet. So this video's gotten pretty long, so tell me what you think, guys, of this rifle. This is my 30 cal, and yes, this stock will fit the 357 Challenger. Same stock. In fact, this stock that's on the original Challenger is exactly the same size as the 50 cal, which is what this one is. The only difference is the 50 cal is wider and has a bigger hole in it. That's the only difference. Wider and wider hole. So this is the 50 cal. I just got this one, and God, this thing is heavy. Heavy, heavy, heavy. I also now realize that the shot tray that I made for the 45 caliber fits this one. The only thing that's different about it is the hole, the half round hole in the top of it. Basically what I done was set that in the vise and took this piece of sandpaper, this round file, and filed that out and test fitted in the breech until the bolt went forward. Once I got it filed a little bit, then I took this, wrapped my sandpaper around it like that, and just worked it. And I just kept doing that until the bolt went forward great. And so if you need one for the 50 cal, the 45 cal will work. You just have to do some sanding and filing on the center of this, so to bring it down so that the bolt will go forward. And if you don't believe me, I'll show you. This here slides right in, clips into place, goes forward. And that is the 45 cal shot tray. So, God, I hate doing this. When you decock your gun, pull back on the lever, pull your trigger all the way back, and release slowly. Now it's decocked. I've got my slanted barrel band on it, and I've got one of the Bentac Picatinny mount clamp on it. Yes, I don't like these clamps, but it's temporary. Eventually I'm going to have an M-lock rail on it, just like that one. And I may even rob that one, I don't know, I may not. And we're going to mount it right here just like that one is. But that's my 50 cal. This is probably going to be the one I hunt with next year. I don't know, I kind of like this 30 cal, man. That 30 cal is badass. This one has taken a deer already. The 357, I missed a frickin' 10 point this year and kind of upset me. Shot over his head by about that much. So, but there you have it. There is the Bison built stock. I don't have any more of these. This stock, this block right here, fits this style buttstock with the slot that goes across it. So this would work perfect if you have a old cattleman gun that you can take the rear buttstock off of. It will mount right onto this. So we're going to go ahead and end this video. I hope that you guys got something out of that. Man, it's a pretty gun. But I wanted at least one of mine to be a tactical like that with a folding stock. I'll probably never fold that stock. To me, it's useless to have a folding stock. There's no point in it. Just plain out, no point in a folding stock unless you're trying to hide it. And if you're trying to hide it, then apparently you're doing something wrong. So let's see what it looks like here with the moderator on it. See what she looks like. That's the Air Mega. That's just way too damn long. Moderators really ain't my thing. I don't need one. I'm not doing anything illegal, so there's really no point in everybody in this state shoot all the time anyway, so it's an air rifle. I'm thinking about doing the bottle brush on these, all three of them, the 357, the 50 cal, and the 30. This 30 cal is probably going to be my all-around hunting rifle. The 50 cal, maybe it'll get a chance to take down a deer. Who knows? I don't know. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, guys. If you're interested in it, I'm trying to wrap my head around how I want to do this. We're working on this part right here to try to make something like this work. We may have to modify this to fit on here a little bit better. The main problem I have with it is when you're holding it, it's in the right location as far as forward and backwards. It just needs to go up further, but if I go up further, I don't see how I'll do it, because then I wouldn't have no way to mount it unless I made the block different. And I really don't want to make the block different. I like the way this is set up. I think that my stocks are going to be made with these kind of grips. They're easier to work with. I can put a slot in it. I just went and got this one to test it to see how it was going to turn out, and this is what it turned out to be. So this one here, it can be sold. The only difference is, remember, this one has the 45-degree angle on it, and this one is a square nose. That's the only difference between this one and this one. I like the bevel or the 45 better. If somebody's interested in this, I will make a kit. In fact, I already almost have the kit ready. Because this one here will go on there just like so. This one's actually ready to go. The only thing I would have to do would be to make another one of these that's that size and angled right to add to it. This one here be ready to go. It's already got the trigger guard. Of course, I did the S in silver and did the fire in red. That one I did white and red. I was just testing things out. But if anybody's interested in this, let me know. If you want the grip to go like that, that's fine too. You're just going to have that style buttstock. I'd like to find these. I like this buttstock. It's a really nice buttstock. And I've already got the block made for it. If anybody knows where you can actually buy this, and I'll give you a close-up look, just so you may already know where you can find it. But it goes on in a groove. And I like this one a lot better. I put a set screw in mine to keep it from moving. But you can move the cheek rest up. I like this. This is a nice one. You can't get them from Cattleman no more because they turned out to be worthless. But anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You guys have a good one. Later.